hosting the World 2010, the World Cup. The economy of South Africa is spreading all over. The same thing we need in Africa. We need who is who to come over and develop Africa. What you say, what I said, what people on the street, for people at home, look into and agreed on is for the upliftment of Africa. And once we understand that language, the generation unborn will be better for it.
I agree.
Well, Chief, I'm so sorry, folks, but we're about out of time, and I really need to give Dr. Hagan an opportunity to talk about the African village. So could you speak to a moment, because this man is putting shoe leather on prayers, as my mama used to say. And right before he does, he talked about praying. And I suggest that you change your P-R-A-Y to P-R-E-Y. Pray like the eagle who sees his lunch and devises and understands that prey and knows his weakness and swoops down and delivers. Pray like that, and you may get some substance. Could you speak to it?
I certainly can, especially when you talk about praying realistically. I like to say it that way. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity, man, to the African Village. We started it in 1998 when I became the pastor of a traditional Baptist church in St. Louis, Missouri. After returning to the pulpit, I should say, after a 5-year sabbatical, after realizing that I could no longer preach the program.
Right.
Okay. I come into an awareness, which I don't, in the time we have, I can't go into that right now, but I came into an awareness about many things that I had been raised on were in fact a lie. In fact, everything that I had been preaching for the last 20-something years, I found it to be a lie. It was a well-dressed lie, but it was nonetheless, it was a lie. After returning to the pulpit in '98 and taking the church in St. Louis, Missouri, we began to teach them from the perspective of, instead of us being a church, let's be a learning center. Okay? The church is the only place on this planet where you are satisfied with no intellectual achievement. Only place. No child stays in the same grade level for 15, 20 years. Okay? But we stay on the same intellectual, spiritual level in our churches for years.
Yes.
Okay? And become complacent with that. The African Village is a learning center where our focus is the evangelism. And when I say evangelism, don't get me wrong, don't confuse that with proselytization. We're not trying to go out and win souls. Evangelize simply means to take knowledge to people who don't know. That's all it means. To edify, to build our people up, to equip them with right knowledge that we can go out and properly serve our community, heal our people, empower our people in 5 basic areas. First, right spirituality. Second, education for our children. Third, economic empowerment, as Elder was just referring to. And the fourth area, policy planning. Nothing should go on in the black community without our permission. And 5, of course, edutainment. I didn't say entertainment, I said edutainment, okay? So the African Village is really, the mission that we have, brother, is trying to return our people back to who we were before we took on all these other identities that's not us.
Thank you so much for giving that, and yes. I guarantee you, we might run out of time on this, but come on my program, I'll give you the whole half. I'll give you the whole.
Okay, man, I'll be honored to come back. I'll be honored to come back.
Glad to. We have a caller. Caller, speak to us briefly.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Well, I just want to say peace into the whole panel, and I watch this show pretty much regularly. But my question is directed to Dr. Hagan. He had made a statement about our arrested development. And he said the main thing.
That? Your question to him was what? To what?
He made a statement about the arrested development
yes.
of black people or African Americans. And he said that the main thing that bounds us is religion. And as I'm watching the show, I'm just discovering that he's a pastor. So I was hoping that he could elaborate or define religion, because I was thinking he was saying that the scriptures was tainted, or the Quran, or just about everything, all the writings that are considered holy. I thought he was saying that they were tainted, but I'm sure he means something else. Could you please, Dr. Hagan,
Yes.
elaborate for us.
Yeah, and we want to thank you for tuning in, and please do us a favor, call 3 more people, tell them to get this last minute.
How much time do I have to answer that question? I have 2 minutes to answer that question. I use the phrase, well, okay, let me go to the beginning of his question. He said that I said that our development was arrested. I didn't say our development was arrested. We talked about our power being arrested. And what causes our power to be arrested is when you look outside of what is real for power, you cannot help but run into a placebo. A placebo is what we would call, what do you put those things you put in a baby's mouth? Pacifier.
That's right.
It's something to make a person think something's happening that is really not, okay? When I say religion, being a pastor, I really would rather use the word teacher, okay? But for the masses of our people, I use the word pastor because a pastor is really a shepherd. And in order to be a shepherd, people have to be sheep, you see? And sheep are the dumbest animals on this planet. So I'd rather be a teacher and the people be disciples, if I'm making sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't teach doctrine, okay? We focus on spirituality. The individual's personal relationship with the Almighty.
That's true.
You don't have to believe a statement of faith in the African village. When people say, so what do y'all teach in the African village? We teach fact. We don't teach doctrine. Everything we teach, I say, go look it up for yourself. You don't believe in the African village, you know.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And you must remember, as long as you have knowledge, faith is not necessary.
Now, you're in Atlanta?
Actually, we're in headquarters in St. Louis. We're opening up in Atlanta as we speak.
Okay,
Yes.
well, we want to...
I am hearing of the African village
30
for
seconds.
the religion section. We're talking of the entire continent of Africa, instituting an African village here.
That's what I'm talking
which
about.
is already endorsed by the African Union here in Atlanta.
Okay.
The 540 acres of land is entitled to each of the 54 countries.
All right.
And the education is what is the colonization, the education, the civilization of each of the African nations,
Yes.
the culture of each of the African nations, the potential of each of the African nations will be exposed to the international community. And that alone will now bring together our brothers and sisters.
I can't wait to get with
100,000
you.
jobs to be created with the wealth of Africa. To the doorstep of our brothers and sisters is immense. And that alone, with the memorandum of the ADB, Africa Development Bank, the World Bank Initiative on Africa, they are now saying that Africans and the diaspora does not need aid. They need sustainable development.
Yes. All right.
Yes, sir.
Nigeria is hosting the conference in July.
Okay.
All
They
right.
invite who is who from the diaspora.
And where is this conference going to be
It's
held
going to be in
briefly?
Abuja.
Okay.
Abuja. Now, one of the companies that is already enjoying the benefit of this particular USA Africa is Delta Airlines.
Okay.
They are now flying to all nooks and corners of Africa. You can never hear Delta now speaking of bankruptcy anymore. June 10, they are flying directly from New York to the state capital of Nigeria, Abuja, the second flight. Is now the most profitable route for them now.
Thank
They
you.
fly to South Africa, Ghana,
right.
Senegal, and Kenya.
Thank you so much, and please forgive me for forcing it to be brief. That's one conference. Another conference is the Black Power Conference. The Black Power Conference is May 22nd and to Sunday, May 24th. And for more information, you can call 202-397-4577. We also have the Power Networking Conference, and the Power Networking Conference, as you know, with George Frazier will be here in Atlanta. PowerNet TV will be covering that, but you can Google or go to FrazierNet.com because it's Black Networking. Last year, their main topic was bridging the gap in the African diaspora, and this time it's going to be just as good. And then we want to ask you locally to participate in the creation of a new reality. This is a discussion, but now it's time to work that out. You can go to promotewithus.net, and what we will be having on that website is an opportunity for you to link up, put in your 3 main services that you're willing to provide.